So I'm pretty sure it's just going to be a theme that I look completely 100% awful every time I do a video. But I was sitting on the couch. I just had like an amazing nap and my phone starts to ring. So I look at it and it says Create Fertility Clinic, which is my new fertility clinic that we will be doing the IVF through in Toronto. So I'd never spoken to them before. They got my referral last year sometime, and the receptionist for the one doctor just called me, and I'm getting goosebumps. And she told me that she had an opening for an IVF consult. So I'm seeing a new doctor who specializes in women with polycystic ovarian syndrome. Apparently he's an amazing doctor, and I'm getting goosebumps all over right now because I'm so excited, because I honestly never thought this was going to happen. Thursday, March 2nd at 12:30, I go in to this new fertility clinic and I meet my new doctor, and we will be discussing our IVF, and I am so incredibly excited. I don't even know what to do right now. The first thing I did was call my mom crying, and now I'm talking to you guys because I can't get a hold of my husband because he's at work, and this is just super exciting and I needed to share. So I have a list of questions that I plan on asking the fertility clinic, and I was just wondering if there's anything that you guys think I should ask. So I'll read you the questions that I have written down, and if you think I've missed anything or if you think I should add anything, definitely feel free to comment or email me at infertilestepmomcanada@gmail.com and let me know. So I'm going to read you my list. If you know me, you know that I'm like a huge fan of making lists. So I'm so excited right now. Like, I feel like I'm gonna throw up. I honestly, like, I knew we had to go through IVF. I knew that that was probably, well, I didn't know that at the beginning. At the beginning, I did not mentally accept or prepare myself for IVF. But after all of these failed IUIs, I knew that that was our only option. But, sorry, I'm just so like frazzled right now. I knew that it probably wouldn't happen until, you know, like this coming summer. But just to hear that in less than 2 months I will be meeting with my new clinic, I very well could be having an egg retrieval in April. Like, that's like less than 4 months away. I'm going nuts right now. Like, this is so cool. I'm so excited. So my list. Okay. So I've had a laparoscopy in 2009 to check for endometriosis, which I didn't end up having. I had the HSG done in March of 2016, which hurt like a bitch. I will get to that on another day. A hysteroscopy, I don't believe I've had done from what I've Googled, unless it's the same thing as an HSG. I've done all the IUIs with the injections, everything. I think we're probably going to do one more just to try lucky number 7 before we end up going down to Toronto. But these are my questions. So I want to ask them if we should do an IUI with them before egg retrieval, or if they recommend just jumping straight in 100%. If they have, because we're so far away from Toronto, we're about 4.5 hours away from Toronto, I'm hoping that they have satellite opportunities for us up here like the other clinics do. So I'm going to ask them if they have satellite counseling, because they do offer infertility counseling through their clinic. So I'm going to see if they can set something like that up. If not, I'm going to look into... Sorry about that. I had to leave the other room because my family got home and they don't know about this channel yet. So the satellite counseling, I want to see if they have that. I'm wondering if a day 3 or a day 5 transfer is best. If so, why? My current fertility clinic had told me that we would probably have to go through ICSI because of the fact that my husband has a little bit of an issue, and because I have polycystic ovaries, apparently my eggs are a little bit harder. So I'm wondering if ICSI can still result in multiples. I'm wondering if a fresh or frozen transfer is best. If our insurance covers PGS, which I'm pretty sure it does. Is PGS necessary? Can gender be determined by looking at an embryo, or is special testing required? I know that here in Ontario, or I don't know if it's Ontario or if it's Canada, period, it is illegal to choose the gender of your child. It is illegal to know the gender of your child, I guess, when it's an embryo. So unless there's a medical reason. Doing some digging in my husband's family and my family, we've actually found a couple of issues that have been passed on from male generation to male generation in his family. So we're going to be mentioning this to the fertility clinic to see if it would be a good idea to just put in a girl embryo or not. So I want to know if our insurance covers yearly storage for the rest of the frozen embryos. If we get proof of destroyed embryos when we are finished using them. I want to see if they do tests for cervical, hostile cervical mucus, because my current clinic has told me that that's what my problem is. However, they never did a test on me. The test where they get you to have sex and then they test the sperm to see how they're doing, kind of thing. I don't know. They just are assuming that that's what I have because I have such a high pH level. So I want to know if they are going to do that or if it's even necessary. I want to know if they're going to check my eggs for their hardness because of the PCOS, or if that's not necessary either. I think maybe I'm just going a little bit overboard here, but I want to know as much as I can. I want to know the best medications for IVF and the best pharmacy to use, whether it's the pharmacy that I currently use or if the online pharmacies are a good idea or not. I want to know if we can have a picture, like an ultrasound picture of the embryo before and after transfer. I see all of you girls posting your pictures saying that you're poo-po, and it's so exciting. Like, and I want to have that moment. I want to have that picture as well. Especially, you know, if it results in a pregnancy, it can end up in a baby book, which is completely awesome. I want to know the clinic success rate, their IVF success rate. I want to know if they have a weight restriction, because I know a lot of clinics do have a weight restriction for IVF and for IUI even. However, I have had the gastric bypass. I have lost a lot of weight. The weight that I have gained back was from my car accident and from all of the medications that I've been put on. However, I'm still considered fairly overweight, so I want to know if that matters or not. I want to know how long we can go between transfers. Like, if, you know, say we do one month and it doesn't work, can we jump right into it the next month and do another one? I want to know if, again, because we are so far away, if I can do the blood work and the ultrasound up here rather than having to go down there. The other clinics that we were looking into required us to actually drive down to Toronto just for blood work and just for an ultrasound, which is 4.5 hours driving there and 4.5 hours driving back, which is completely insane. So I want to know if they can, you know, kind of team up with our blood lab and our ultrasound lab up here, like my current fertility clinic has. I want to know if they're going to do a month of birth control before the egg retrieval. I want to know if you're put to sleep for the egg retrieval. I've never looked into this. I've never Googled it. I've never asked any of you if you were put to sleep for your egg retrieval. I do have an issue with anesthetic. If I am put to sleep, my bladder actually completely freezes and I need a catheter for a week and I need to be put on intravenous medication. It is completely awful. So if I can do the egg retrieval free of anesthetic, that would be great. I want to know if, excuse me, if my husband's sperm and my eggs are just incompatible and that's why it's not working for us. Because I have a fracture in my back from the car accident, I want to know if I would be put on bed rest with multiples, if I would need a C-section because of my back. I also have chronic kidney disease and high blood pressure, so I want to know what this affects, if I'm going to have to do anything special beforehand or during the pregnancy or after, or I just need to know how that's going to affect me. I want to know if I can see my OBGYN once I do get pregnant. I know a lot of you graduate from your fertility clinics and get to move on. But since, again, the clinic is so far away, I want to know if I can just use my OBGYN or if I would have to stick with them until a certain point. I love my OBGYN. He is amazing. He's so sweet. So, I mean, this new doctor as well could be very kind and I could love him just as much, but I would rather not have to travel, especially if pregnant, 4.5 hours there and 4.5 hours back. I want to know if I do get pregnant, if there are alternative ways to test for gestational diabetes. As some of you know, I had gastric bypass, and I don't believe I'll be able to do the glucose tolerance test because of the amount of sugar in the orange drink that they give you. So I want to know if there's any other way to test for that. I want to know if they want to do another laparoscopy to see what's going on down there. I want to know if assisted hatching is helpful. I've done a little bit of research on that, and it seems quite interesting. It's something that my current fertility clinic has mentioned to me, so I want to know if that is a helpful thing, a necessary thing, of if it's something that they believe we should have done or not. And I want to know my prognosis, like how likely is this to work for me? How do I know? I mean, how do any of us know? You know, we could ask and they could say, you know, you have a 90% chance of becoming pregnant, but I mean, how do we really know that that's the truth? We've struggled with infertility for such a long time that how do we know? So I guess that's kind of a silly question to ask because nobody knows. It's, you know, all dependent on your bodies, and everybody's different. You can't really use statistics on individuals, and I guess I understand that, but I still want to know. So those are the questions. I also have a list here from their website of vitamins that they want us to take, and the vitamins we have already been taking are actually the ones that are on their site, so we're good there. I have a list of the foods that they want us to eat, foods that they want us to stay away from, so I don't really, and with my gastric bypass too, I have to be kind of careful as well. So yeah, so I have the food part down. I have all of my questions ready to go. So if you feel that I missed anything, please, like I said earlier, just comment below or send me an email or message me on Instagram, which is at Infertile_Stepmom. My email is infertilestepmomcanada@gmail.com. As well, like I said, you can comment below. And any comments or questions you have would be greatly appreciated. And thank you for watching. Remember, there are always better days ahead.